Hey gamer friends, I'm Danielle.
And I'm Josiah, and we are ready to roll. We're going to be talking today about a little card game called Clash of Corgis.
This game was sent to us for review, and so we want to give you our opinions about the game.
Yep. We wanted to talk about the component quality in this game. It is actually surprisingly really good.
Yeah, it is. When we first heard that it was a card game, I kind of assumed it would come in like a tuck box.
Yeah.
You know, and it didn't. It was definitely a lot higher quality. It comes in this nice little box. It actually has this magnetized opening, and then you kind of pull it out and you can see the cards are in here.
Yeah, and the cards
are nice.
Really, really good quality.
Yes. I really like them a lot. They're easy to handle and shuffle and all those good things.
They feel good.
They feel good, yes. Yeah. The artwork is also really cute.
Super cute. And we'll throw up some pictures of the game as we talk, so you guys can kind of see what it looks like. But it's really cute. Great artwork.
Yeah, we actually used to have a Corgi.
We did.
And so whenever we heard about this game, we were kind of excited about it just because we have a little bit of that nostalgia for our little Corgi that we had. His name was Bubba, and he was amazing. And so anyway, so we automatically were drawn to the theme of the game.
Absolutely. There is one exception to our glowing review of the quality of the components, and that is the print of the game.
Yes, so I don't think you'll be able to see it on our camera. We were trying to get it to focus, and it wouldn't focus on it. But the print on both the rules and the player aids is so tiny.
It's incredibly tiny. We actually had to take a picture of it with our phone so that we could blow it up enough to see it.
And I do realize that we are in our 40s.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you're in your 40s, sometimes you can't see small print very well. But we also had our kids join us to play this game, and they're in their 20s, and they were also having a hard time being able to read it.
I mean, I would guess that it's like 4-point font.
It's so little.
It's so tiny.
Yeah.
And that was a barrier.
It really was. So everything else about the component quality is fantastic. That was a real challenge.
Yeah.
I will say the rules were concise.
Yeah.
They were pretty easy to understand. Even if I didn't right away, like once we set it up, I totally knew what it was talking about. So that wasn't an issue. So they did a really good job with the rules.
Yeah. It took us maybe 5 minutes or less, to go through the game.
Oh, yeah.
To learn the game.
Absolutely. Probably less than.
Yeah. So it's a very easy learn of a game.
Yeah, which is one of the things we like about it. Because if we're going to play a card game, I want it to be easy to learn.
Yeah.
That's like one of the bonuses about playing card games is they are so easy to learn. You can get into games so quick. That's what I want in a card game. We want
easy to learn, but lots of game.
Yes.
And this did deliver on some of that.
Yes, it did.
But which we'll talk about later. But there's 3 different games in this box.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we liked about it. So you're buying one game, but you're actually getting 3 games, and that feels like a lot for your money.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I'm not just going to get one game out of this. It's a game. It's cards that can be played in 3 different ways.
Right. Yeah.
So the first way is like what they call the original game. And it is like basically a card shedding game. And so you're just trying to get rid of all of the cards in your hand as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and this was a good one.
Yes, it was.
We thought this was a fun game.
Yeah.
We enjoyed it.
It was a good little filler game.
Yeah, exactly. The second game in the box is called Treasure Island, and it's a battle game.
Right.
So you have a hand of cards, and you are trying to you can put a card down or 2 cards down in your play area, and then you're going to battle.
You're going to battle the deck.
The deck
specifically.
Correct.
So if you're not necessarily battling other players, you're battling the deck.
Yeah, and if you win the battle, you get to keep those cards as your treasure. And then there are ways, though, for other players to try and steal your your treasure and vice versa.
Yeah.
And so you're just trying to get to, I think it was 10.
I think so.
10 cards in your treasure, and then you win the game. And so this one I thought was my favorite of the games.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with it. There is a lot of luck element to this game because
Yeah.
it just depends on the luck of the cards that come out. But it was still a lot of fun. We thought it worked much better at that 4-player count.
Yeah.
Just because it gave a lot more player interaction. And actually, when we read the rules, I was like, this doesn't sound like it's going to be very much fun at all. And then once we played it was actually a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So that was a good surprise.
Yeah, one thing that we didn't mention before is that each of the cards has a special power
Yes.
in all 3 of the games.
Yes.
And they're all different.
Right.
So you have to have the
Player
aid to
all
know
the time.
to know which power that card has in
Yes.
whichever game you're playing.
Yes.
So the third game in this box is called Capture the Illusionist.
Right, so this was the 2-player only kind of duel or battle game. And the point of that is so they have like these cards that are called the Illusionist, and they have a little star on them. They're like the wild cards.
Yeah.
But you have to capture the other person's illusionist, so you have to find
Twice.
it. Yeah, twice. You have to find it in their grid of cards. And
That are face down.
right. We played this one a few times, and it was not our favorite.
Yeah, this was
Of the 3.
This was our least favorite of the 3 games.
Right.
It was not a bad game.
No.
I would still consider it an okay game,
Mm-hmm.
but it was easily the worst one for us.
Right.
Yeah, in our opinion.
All right. So the things that we can say that are really good about this game in particular of all the Clash of Corgi games is that I think this would be a great game for traveling.
Yeah.
Because it has the 3 variations of the game, I feel like it gives you a little bit more when you're just taking this box with you when you go somewhere. And I feel like most of the games you could really play on like an airplane tray.
Yeah.
Or something
you don't
like
need a
that.
lot of space.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't take up a lot of space. And so I felt like that was really good and kind of a bonus. Like that is where I would see us with this game is when we travel.
Yeah. And the other option for this game that I could see for us is like a filler game or a palate cleanser, type game.
Mm-hmm.
Like you've played maybe a few big heavy games and you just need a refresher game.
Yes.
This could fill that role too.
I think so. Especially the original game of that feels a lot more like kind of filler game.
Yeah.
I will say this game is a lot more, it's not, I don't know what complexity I would say, but because each card has a different role to play, it's a little bit more complex than you would initially think because you have to know what each card does. And so anyway, it ups that complexity just enough that I wouldn't feel like this is necessarily a game for just anyone.
Right.
Typically, I would say it was kind of a family weight, but it might be difficult if it's young kids because they would have to read a lot of what's going on with the cards.
Yeah.
So as far as gameplay, once they memorized what those cards did, it might be fine.
Well, and that's what I was going to say is like if you just picked one of the games and memorized what the cards did in that game, the Originalist or the Treasure Island or the Capture the Illusionist, it is a real quick, snappy game.
Right.
But until that point, because each card has a different special ability in each of the games, we had to constantly be going back to every card we played.
Yes.
Every card we played was, okay, what does this card do in this game? Okay. And so it slowed the game down a lot.
Right. And so that's one thing that we would say that maybe if we're starting our section on like what we didn't like is because of that, it did make it a little bit clunky.
Yeah.
And because there was such small writing, like re-looking at that player aid every single turn was making it really difficult. So here's what I'm going to do for this copy. I'm going to take the rules and the player aids, and I'm basically going to blow them up.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm going to make it where we can fold it and stick it in here. I don't know if it'll fit or not, but it has to have something bigger for us. Like we could not keep reading that, or putting it on your phone makes it hard. You know, you're trying to like scroll and blow it up and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think having something a little bit bigger that I could reference would actually make the game a ton better.
Yeah, a lot better. Yeah.
So that's something that we will do for the game.
Yeah. Also, another thing that happens when you have a game with 3 games in it is you start comparing those games to each other.
That's true.
And which maybe is not a bad thing or a negative thing, but it just happens.
Can be, yeah.
It can be. Yep.
Yeah, because we were like, oh, well, I didn't like that one very much. And so then it's like, well, now that's one of the 3. And, you know, so it can be a little bit of a detriment to have the 3.
Yeah. Yep, it can.
But for the most part, I will say that the 3 is a bonus because somebody in your family might enjoy that one. So it might work out.
Because the original game and Treasure Island game are both okay at 2 players, they're better at higher player counts. Right. Now, of course, the Capture the Illusionist is 2-player only.
Right.
And so for us, it's the 2 games that we liked the best out of the box.
That's true.
Are not as good at 2-player as they are at higher player counts.
Right.
So that was a little bit of a negative for us as well.
For us personally, because we play at 2 players mostly.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right about that. Did we talk about price point?
No, we didn't.
I don't think we did. I will say this is a great price point for a game.
Yeah.
I think when I looked it up, it was around the $15 mark, at least here in the U.S.
Yeah.
And so to me, that is a great price point for a game.
Yeah, for getting 3 games in one.
Yeah.
That's a lot of value.
Yes, it is. And so I would say that that's definitely on the bonus for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about our rating for the game.
Okay.
Why don't you go first?
Okay, so I would say, well, do we want to rate all 3 of the games separately and then do an overall rating? Is that how you want to do it? Okay. So the original game for me was probably a B game. So B means a good game. Like I said, for what it was, for the filler, it's a B game. Treasure Island, I also think was B. It might be a little bit, it's higher than the original. We had more fun with that one. And so I would put it a little bit higher, but still in that B category. And then the third game, Capture the Illusionist, I think would be like more of a C game for me. It was just like, it was okay.
Yeah. I'm probably exactly the same as you. So the original game for me was like a straight B game, like a good game. And then Treasure Island was a probably B plus game. So it was like for me, almost a really good game, but it was in that B category, but high. And then Capture the Illusionist was a C game for me, straight C. So overall, I would say we're probably in the B minus range.
Yes.
If Capture the Illusionist was in that same range, this would be a B plus game overall for me.
Oh,
but I
really?
think because of Capture the Illusionist, it kind of brings it down to a B minus overall game for me.
Okay. So it's a B minus for me as well. It's at that lower end of like a good game. I still think it would probably stay in that regardless. Like I just feel like that's a really good spot for it. It's just kind of in that, like, it's better than an okay game, but it's on the lower end of the B tier for me.
Yeah.
So I would say that's about where it fits. But it's good. I think for the price point, you know what you're getting. You would be happy with it. I feel like if I knew that the writing was small before I got it, that actually would have helped me, because I was like struggling so much that if I knew, hey, just write, just type it out and print it out yourself, and you will be much happier.
It and blow it up and
something like that. Then that would have changed everything for me. So, but right now I'm going to stick with that B minus.
Yeah, and for a small box, game that has 3 games in it, that's not bad.
Not at all. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe.
And tell us down below if you've played this game, what you thought about it as well.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.